You are confused. You observe a landscape you were told would be one way, but it manifests as another. You were told desire is simple, that intimacy is a transaction of affection, a meeting of souls. Yet you encounter a pattern, repeated, a source of deep dissonance. The woman of profound beauty and capability, yet her history is a ledger of ephemeral encounters. The partner who speaks of connection, yet her actions speak of a restless, searching seriality. You are told to celebrate this, but in the quiet hours, it feels like a form of chaos, a betrayal of some deeper order. The pain is not merely jealousy. It is the pain of meaninglessness, the pain of investing in a story that the other participant does not believe in. You offer a chapter. She is conducting a survey. And it is getting worse. Because the modern world has weaponized this ambiguity. It has taken a fragile, ancient biological circuit and connected it to a globalized marketplace of instant validation and infinite options. It has stripped the context, the consequence, and left only the raw, flickering impulse. You are not competing with the man in her village. You are competing with the phantom of perfection in her pocket, the aggregated attention of thousands, the seductive narrative of unconstrained autonomy. Your intuition, that something is off, that this behavior speaks to a fundamental rupture, is correct. You are sensing the shadow. In this video, we will dissect the hidden mindset, not through the lens of moral panic or political ideology, but through the cold, clear light of evolutionary psychology and archetypal reality. We will move beyond the superficial labels and expose the machinery beneath to understand the phenomenon. You must first erase the last 10,000 years. Strip away the religions, the novels, the fairy tales. Go back to the savannah, to the raw calculus of survival and replication. Here is the first non-negotiable premise. The biological imperative of the sexes is asymmetrical. For ancestral man, the primary imperative was access. His potential reproductive success was theoretically limitless, bounded only by his ability to impregnate fertile females. His risk was low, his investment at the point of conception minimal. His strategy, therefore, leans toward quantity. This impulse is a low-burning fire in the basement of the male psyche. For ancestral woman, the imperative was, and remains, profoundly different. Her investment is catastrophic. 9 months of gestation, years of lactation, a decade or more of vulnerable care. A single pregnancy is a monumental biological gamble. Her strategy is therefore not quantity, but quality. Her mate choice is the single most critical survival decision she will make. This is the engine of hypergamy. It is not a social construct. It is a biological mandate. It is the imperative to secure the best possible genetic material and the best possible provisioning and protection for the monumental investment of childbirth. So, what is the promiscuous strategy in this raw ancestral context? It is a high-risk, high-potential reward adaptation to environmental instability. Consider the ancestral landscape. If the dominant, high-status male, the provider of top-tier genetics and resources, is unlikely to commit his resources exclusively to one female, what is her play? One strategy is to secure a long-term, stable beta provider. Another, more chaotic strategy is to engage in short-term couplings with multiple high-status males. The potential payoffs? First, genetic diversification. By mixing her genes with several high-status males, she hedges her bets against environmental change and pathogen resistance. She creates a portfolio, not a single stock. Second, confusion of paternity. In a brutal environment, a child with multiple potential fathers is a child with multiple potential protectors. No male wishes to risk harming his own offspring. A cloud of possible paternity can be a cloak of safety. This is not about liberation or joy. This is cold, hard, evolutionary calculus. It is the female psyche, under specific conditions, playing the most serious game there is, the genetic game. The woman who embodies this archetype is not broken. She is, at a deep biological level, executing a high-variance survival program. She is seeking the optimal genetic lottery ticket, while using the attention and resources of many to buffer her during her peak fertility window. The romantic ideal is a flickering candle held up to this primordial storm. We have built cathedrals of meaning on this volcanic bedrock. The modern promiscuous woman is not a new invention. She is an ancient pattern, awakened in a new world. And that new world, as we will see, has turned this adaptive strategy into a pathological trap. So we have the bedrock imperative, hypergamy, the drive for quality, for the optimal genetic and resource portfolio, executed through a high-variance strategy under conditions of perceived scarcity or instability. Now, witness the trap. The modern world has not abolished this imperative. It has digitized it, amplified it, and stripped it of its corrective feedback. In the ancestral environment, a woman's sphere of comparison was perhaps 150 individuals. Her ability to attract high-status mates was bounded by geography, tribe, and the brutal reality of social hierarchy. Her choices had immediate, tangible consequences: social ostracization, physical danger, the welfare of her offspring. The modern condition has erected a Potemkin village of infinite choice. Social media and dating apps are not connection technologies. They are hyperstimulation engines for the mating instinct. They create a perpetual state of option paralysis mixed with grass is greener syndrome. The 150-person tribe is now 15,000 curated profiles. The high-status male is no longer the strongest hunter in the valley. He is the composite phantom of the travel photographer, the finance bro, the witty intellectual, and the rugged outdoorsman, all presented simultaneously, without context, without cost. This is where the biological circuit overloads. The ancient strategy of seeking multiple high genetic value mates was a targeted, dangerous, and rare gambit. Now it is a default setting. The swipe right is a dopamine microdose that mimics the thrill of a new, potential high-status conquest, with zero of the ancestral risk. She is not engaging with real people in a real community. She is browsing a global catalog of hypothetical betters. This leads to what we can call the phantom hierarchy. In her psyche, she is not merely meeting men. She is constantly, subconsciously, ranking them. And the algorithm's sole purpose is to suggest that a higher-ranked option is always one swipe away. This creates a state of perpetual, quiet contempt for the present, real partner in front of her. He is always being measured against the phantom. He will always lose. Furthermore, the modern narrative apparatus has performed a dark, clever act of psychological manipulation. It has taken this ancient, amoral, reproductive strategy and cloaked it in the sacred vestments of empowerment, autonomy, and self-love. This is the fusion of the shadow with the persona. The biological imperative is dressed up as a political or a spiritual virtue. To question the behavior is not to question a dangerous strategy. It is to question her very sovereignty. The system thus protects itself. It pathologizes the male's intuitive alarm at the behavior as insecurity, while reframing the potential. But here is the devastating irony. This environment does not serve her long-term imperative. It corrupts it. The strategy was designed to secure the best for her offspring. But the modern trap encourages a serial depletion of pair bonding capacity. The neurochemicals of new lust, dopamine, norepinephrine, are not the chemicals of long-term attachment, oxytocin, vasopressin. The former are addictive flash powder. The latter are slow-curing cement. One can become addicted to the flash powder to the point where one can no longer recognize the value of, or even tolerate, the cement. She is playing a slot machine that pays out in validation cocktails, while the real currency, time, fertility, emotional depth, the capacity for trust, bleeds silently away. The corporate world monetizes this restlessness, selling her the wardrobe, the cosmetics, the lifestyle to keep her in the game. Society applauds her freedom, while the ancestral clock, the deep need for substantive security, ticks unheard beneath the noise. She is not a villain. She is a biological entity, operating an archaic program in a space-age labyrinth. The maze has been designed by forces that profit from her confusion, that feed on her restless, scrolling search for a phantom that doesn't exist. She is in a cage, waving a key she's been told is a jewel. Let us summarize the dark truth, without flinching. The The promiscuous pattern in the modern woman is not a personal failing, nor is it true liberation. It is the manifestation of an ancient, high-risk biological strategy, hypergamy and genetic diversification, unleashed in a technological and cultural environment that removes all natural constraints and corrective feedback. What was once a desperate, tactical gambit on the harsh savanna has become a default lifestyle in the infinite digital marketplace. The result is a profound psychic dislocation, a woman chasing the phantom of an optimal mate in a hall of mirrors, while her inherent capacity for deep pair bonding atrophies from disuse. Society, in a fit of sentimental and commercial madness, cheers this self-immolation as progress. This is the red pill, not a license for bitterness, but a mandate for clear-eyed perception. To see the machinery is to free yourself from the fantasy. So what is to be done? How does a man navigate this landscape, knowing what he now knows? You must adopt a Stoic realism. First, discern the pattern from the person. Do not moralize. Do not accuse. Observe. Her behavior is data. It tells you which archetype is active, the partner or the high-variance strategist. Your responsibility is not to fix her or condemn her, but to accurately categorize the reality in front of you. If you seek depth, commitment, and family, you do not negotiate with a pattern designed for genetic serialization. You simply recognize the incompatibility. You walk away, not in anger, but as a botanist would walk away from a plant that requires a different climate to thrive. Second, become a true counterweight. The phantom hierarchy only has power if men are commoditized. If you are merely another profile, another source of validation, you are food for the machine. Your task is to become so substantively, unignorably real that you break the spell of the phantom. Cultivate genuine competence. Pursue a meaningful hierarchy, not of domination over others, but of mastery over your own chaos. Develop a philosophy that grounds you. A man on a genuine mission, with unshakable boundaries and integrated values, is not easily swiped away. He is a singularity, not a commodity. He does not beg for a seat at her table. He builds his own, and the invitation is a serious one. Third, and most crucially, withdraw your complicity in the fantasy. Stop participating in the marketplace on its own degraded terms. Do not seek to be a phantom in her gallery. Seek reality, with all its friction and weight. Judge potential partners not solely by the intoxicating spark of the new, but by their demonstrated capacity for loyalty, for sacrifice, for delayed gratification. Look for character, not just charm. Look for an integrated shadow, not a sanitized persona. The modern world is a storm of ancient impulses in broken vessels. You cannot calm the storm, but you can learn to read the weather, and you can build a boat that is seaworthy. Do not seek a woman who is perfect. Seek one whose struggles are oriented toward integration, not endless consumption. Seek one who has confronted her own chaos and chosen a meaningful order. The final word is this: clarity is the only true form of compassion here. To see the world and the people in it, as they are, not as you wish them to be, is the beginning of all wisdom and the only foundation for any love that is not a shared delusion. The game is old. The players are confused. The wise man steps out of the arena and builds something that can endure the age. Perceive the pattern. Govern your chaos. Build something real.